Morning team, FYI Friday is here. So today we're going to talk about boredom eating and hopefully give you a couple of tips to prevent that. There's nothing worse than being on a really great nutrition plan the whole week, training really hard, and every now and then going off the rails to eat a whole pack of biscuits. So hopefully these tips are going to help you get to where you want to be a little bit quicker. So the good news is you are not addicted to food, okay? What is probably happening when you are boredom eating is you are either actually bored or your blood glucose levels have dropped and your body's telling you need some energy. So I'm going to give you some tips to help prevent this from happening. First thing you need to do with your food is plan ahead. That's really important. Planning ahead is going to help stop your boredom eating. So what you do, and what I get a lot of my clients to do, is to sit down, make a grid of what they're going to eat Monday to Friday, and sometimes the weekend if they've nailed that. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks. They can have a couple of meals in there that are flexible. That doesn't mean that you get to eat everything. That just means that if you're going out for a meal, or you know you're going to be too tired, or you're in a rush, then that meal gives you a little bit more leeway. From the meal plan that you create, you then get a food shopping list, and then you set aside 1 or 2 days of food prep time a week, keeping it really simple. The next thing to think about is slow release carbohydrates. So if you're someone that finds himself boredom eating, have a look at, are you eating a lot of sugar? Are you eating a lot of refined foods? Are you eating a lot of foods that is going to spike your blood glucose levels and then make them drop? So this is where you need to look at having some oats in your diet, potatoes, rice, all of those things in your main meals, and then maybe with your snacks having things like rice cakes and oat biscuits as opposed to having, sweets and chocolate. That will help prevent you from crashing. Point number 3, out of sight, out of mind. So if you don't need to buy crap, don't. It doesn't need to be in the house. If you have a partner or a loved one who insists on having these things in the house, then keep the crap to the back. You're not going to be able to see it. They did a very interesting study with people wrapping very Moorish foods in cling film and putting it in the fridge, and wrapping them in foil, and they found a significant difference in that the people who wrapped it in cling film were far more likely to eat it than the people that wrapped it in foil, and that's all because they could see the foods. All right, so if you do have somebody that's going to be keeping stuff like that in the fridge that you kind of want to avoid, and you don't want to be picking at, then wrap it in foil as opposed to cling film. Point number 4 is find something to do. When you're bored, find something to do as opposed to going into the fridge or the cupboard and raiding it. So when I was very overweight and I used to struggle with this, there's something I started doing was actually like knitting. That's going to keep my hands busy. 5 minutes in, I'm so engrossed in what I'm doing that I don't actually feel the need to eat anything. Going for a walk, especially at the moment because it's summer and it's nice, that can help you. Reading, anything that's going to keep your mind occupied, and help prevent you from going to the fridge. After a little while, your brain will associate you being bored with the activity that you've chosen over being bored, and that meaning that you're going to go and eat and sit in front of the TV. Point number 5, which is really important, is are you actually eating enough calories throughout the week and on certain days? So if there is always certain days and certain times that you boredom eat, so in the middle of the afternoon or at night time, have a look at how many calories you're eating throughout the day and make sure that you're on enough, because you could actually just be hungry. And if we can prevent that from happening, then we can prevent you from picking throughout the day or throughout the evening. All right, guys, hope those tips were helpful. Please visit my website, trainimpact.com, if you need any more tips or information, and you can also send me a Facebook message anytime. All right, have an awesome weekend. Catch you soon.